In the forgotten heart of a fractured empire, where the echoes of vanished dynasties still trembled beneath marble corridors and blood-soaked banners, a single secret buried, denied, and chased 4 centuries threatened to erupt with the power to rewrite every line of royal succession. For, in the ancient capital of Aurelian, the tale of a herdera perdida, Cuques destru, Alina da Caroa, began not with a coronation, but with a disappearance. A newborn princess taken under the cover of a false eclipse, smuggled through tunnels carved long before the empire learned to fear its own shadows, and entrusted to an order sworn to defy the crown itself. While the kingdom above sank into decades of political theater, forged alliances, executions justified by whispers, and a constant struggle to maintain control over a lineage held together by forged documents, falsified bloodlines, and manipulated prophecies. Yet none in the empire suspected that the true heiress among commoners, unaware of her heritage, shaped not by luxury, but by hunger, exile, and the discipline of those who guarded her would one day return not as a pawn, but as a fracture in the empire's spine, for her existence alone carried the weight to expose centuries of cover-ups, illegitimate rulers, and a tapestry of royal crimes woven so deeply that even the court historians had been threatened into silence. And while the nobles played their endless game of influence-poisoned banquets, alliances sealed with fear rather than loyalty, armies commanded by men who bowed with one hand and sharpened daggers with the other, prophecy of the lost heiress resurfaced like a forbidden flame, spreading through marketplaces, taverns, and underground circles until even the Imperial Council could no longer pretend it was myth. And when agents of the crown traced the rumors back to a remote border village, they found not a helpless girl, but a figure already surrounded by loyalists, deserters, rebels, even former members of the royal guard, each of them willing to risk death to restore the rightful bloodline, while inside the palace walls, the reigning monarch, whose claim to the throne depended entirely on the lost princess never returning, launched a desperate campaign to erase every remaining record of the stolen child, incinerating scrolls, bribing seers, and hunting down those who dared to remember. But secrets born in darkness rarely remain buried, and as the heir's identity began to surface in coded letters, recovered artifacts, and testimonies extracted at high cost, the empire's most feared truth unfolded. The blood that flowed in her veins carried not only the right to rule, but the power to expose an entire era of falsified succession, revealing that 3 generations of rulers had never been legitimate, their crowns inherited through deception rather than destiny. Thus the journey of the lost heiress became a collision of destiny and rebellion, carrying her across haunted ruins, war-torn provinces, forbidden libraries guarded by spectral oaths, and battlegrounds where the past itself refused to stay dead. And with each step, she uncovered not just the history stolen from her, but the crimes committed to keep her forgotten, until finally she stood at the gates of the capital No longer a myth, but a living threat to the empire's fabricated legaciendas. Armies gathered, factions split, and truth clawed its way violently into the light. The empire faced its most devastating revelation, that a single child, hidden for a lifetime, could unravel the entire crown not through war, but through lineage. For, in the end, the greatest danger to a kingdom built on lies is the return of the one person who carries the truth in her blood.